Have you ever felt completely and utterly alone on what was supposed to be the happiest day of your life? And the story of how my own family betrayed me, and how that betrayal ironically led to our healing, is one you won't want to miss. My name is Sophia Jenkins and I am 28 years old. Not a single member of my family stood among the guests. It was a message from my mom. We need to talk now. My stomach dropped, a cold mix of fear and curiosity washing over me. But behind our closed doors, I always felt like the emotional orphan of the family. She danced ballet, played the violin, and possessed a magnetic charm that effortlessly drew people to her. What truly hurt was how differently our parents treated us. Mom glanced up briefly from helping Harper with her dance costume. They ordered champagne for themselves and made a grand toast to our little star. It was the repeating pattern of my childhood. You understand, right? This is really important for her future, Mom explained when I expressed my deep disappointment. I did understand, but that didn't make it hurt any less. I built my own life, made friends who valued me for who I was, and focused on my education and future career in biomedical engineering. During my senior year of college, when I graduated with highest honors, my parents promised they would attend the ceremony. I proudly reserved 4 seats in the auditorium. 2 for them, 1 for Harper and 1 for my best friend Naomi. Naomi became the family I chose for myself. She witnessed my struggles with my family dynamics firsthand, holding me through tears after particularly difficult holiday visits, or the sting of unanswered phone calls on my birthday. I met Jason Bryant at a mutual friend's birthday party when I was 26. He was tall with kind brown eyes and a laugh that made everyone around him smile. Instead, Jason reached across the table and took my hand. No one had ever validated my feelings so directly before. For years, I had wondered if I was just being overly sensitive or selfish for wanting more attention. Jason helped me see that my pain was legitimate, and that the dynamics in my family were genuinely unhealthy. As our relationship grew more serious, Jason encouraged me to set boundaries with my family. You can't change them, he would often say, but you can change how you respond to them. Dr. Winters helped me understand the concept of emotional neglect, and how it had shaped my self-worth and my relationships. I lowered my expectations to match reality, rather than continuing to hope for the parental love and recognition I had craved my entire life. It was a painful process, but it was also liberating. I stopped trying to earn their approval and focused instead on building a life that made me genuinely happy. His family welcomed me with open arms from the very first time we visited them in Connecticut. His father, Robert, sent me articles about scientific breakthroughs he thought might interest me. His sister, Olivia, became the sibling I had always wished for with Harper. You're part of our family now, Linda told me during my second visit. And in this family we celebrate everyone's victories, big and small. Jason found me there and held me without saying a word, understanding exactly what those tears meant. With therapy, Jason's unwavering support, and my own determination, I made a promise to myself. I would stop measuring my worth by my family's inability to see it. I would create happiness on my own terms. Little did I know how severely my resolve would be tested when Jason and I decided to get married. Through tears and laughter I said yes, as the entire theater erupted in applause. That night, as we celebrated with champagne in our apartment, anxiety began to creep in. I called my parents the next day, my stomach in knots as the phone rang. My mother answered on the 4th ring. Mom. I have some news. Jason proposed last night and I said yes. We're engaged. The pause on the other end lasted just a beat too long before she responded. Oh, that's good. Congratulations. That's quite soon. Well, let us know the details when you have them. Another pause. And just like that, my engagement was overshadowed once again. We chose a caterer, a small family-owned restaurant that made amazing Mediterranean food. We found a photographer whose portfolio captured exactly the kind of candid, joyful moments we wanted to remember. Each decision we made felt right, like we were creating something that truly represented us as a couple. Weeks passed with no RSVP from my family. Yes, we got it. Your father and I have been meaning to call you about that. We'll try to make it, of course, but you know how busy things get. I would really like you all to be there. When I asked if my father would like to do the traditional father-daughter dance, he mumbled something about needing to check his schedule. She organized a beautiful bridal shower, helped me shop for my dress, and listened patiently through my tearful venting sessions. And if they don't, I'll be standing right beside you the entire day. You are not alone, Sophia. Jason's family also stepped up in extraordinary ways. His father insisted on contributing to the costs, even though we had initially planned to pay for everything ourselves. Olivia threw me a separate bridal shower with Jason's extended family, making me feel truly welcomed into their clan. My calls home were met with distracted conversations and quick excuses to hang up. I tried to tell myself it was just normal pre-wedding stress making me overly sensitive, but deep down, I knew something was seriously off. Still, I held on to a sliver of hope. This milestone would finally be important enough to warrant their full attention and support. I chose to focus on the people who were showing up for me, rather than those who might not. Your wedding will be perfect because it's about you and Jason, Naomi reminded me. Everything else is just details. I clung to those words like a lifeline as the day approached, never imagining just how dramatically my family would prove me wrong. It was Harper, beaming at the camera, her left hand prominently displayed to showcase a sizable diamond ring. The caption read, "He asked and I said yes. Engaged future Mrs. Williams." I stared at the screen, unable to process what I was seeing. The comment section was filled with congratulations, including several from my parents. My hands shaking, I called my mother immediately. "Sophia, is everything okay? I'm a bit busy right now." A pause. "Oh, you saw the post?" "Yes, Patrick proposed last weekend. It was so romantic. He took her to that vineyard upstate." "Well, honey, you've been so busy with your own wedding plans. We didn't want to bother you." Something in her tone didn't ring true. I pressed further. "Mom, what is this about celebrating this weekend? My wedding is in 2 weeks." Another longer pause. "Harper is having a small engagement party on Saturday. Just family and close friends." "Is it? Oh dear. I thought your wedding was the following weekend." Her voice sounded falsely confused. "Harper has had this date planned for her party for a while now." Then, her voice took on an irritatingly reasonable tone. "Honey, would it be possible for you and Jason to reschedule? We've already put down deposits for Harper's party, and everyone has made arrangements." "No, Mom, we can't reschedule our wedding. We have 60 people coming, contracts signed, everything arranged." "Well," she sighed, as if I were the one being unreasonable, "I suppose we'll have to figure something out. But you know how important this is for Harper. She's been dreaming of this engagement for months. We'll try to make it to part of your ceremony," she offered, as if suggesting a grand compromise. "Maybe we can split our time between both events." "Your family is making a choice," he said gently. "And it's a poor one that reflects on them, not on you. Our wedding will be wonderful because we will be surrounded by people who truly love and support us." "But what if none of my family comes?" I asked, voicing my deepest fear. I tried to take comfort in his words, but the pain of potential abandonment by my entire family, on what should be one of the happiest days of my life, was overwhelming. The next day I texted Harper directly. Her response came hours later. "Thanks. Sorry, everything is already set for the party. Maybe you could come for a little bit after your reception? It's going to be epic." The last one read, "We'll try to stop by your ceremony if we can get away from setup for Harper's party. Hope you understand. Family comes first." In their minds, Harper was family. It apparently was not. "Your family hasn't arrived yet?" the coordinator asked as the scheduled start time approached. Jason squeezed my hand as we watched his family arrive, one by one, all smiling and excited. His mother hugged me tightly. Jason's 12-year-old cousin practiced his role as ring bearer with an exaggerated seriousness that made everyone laugh. Everything was lovely, except for the glaring absence on my side of the aisle. I pulled it out, hoping against hope that it was my family saying they were on their way. But Jason knew me too well. "They're not coming, are they?" he asked quietly as we walked to the restaurant for the rehearsal dinner. "No," I replied, surprised by how steady my voice sounded. "They're busy preparing for Harper's party." She gave me a small, knowing smile and a wink, and I felt a rush of gratitude for her thoughtfulness. The dinner proceeded with toasts, stories, and laughter. If anyone noticed my occasional forced smile or distant gaze, they kindly didn't mention it. Naomi sat beside me, her presence a constant comfort as she effortlessly charmed Jason's relatives and kept conversations flowing whenever I fell quiet. "Tomorrow will be perfect," she assured me as we prepared to leave. "I'll be at your hotel at 9 o'clock in the morning with coffee and breakfast. We'll get your hair and makeup done, get you into that gorgeous dress, and make you the most beautiful bride Boston has ever seen. You'll never have to find out," she promised. Back at the hotel, Jason kissed me goodnight before heading to stay with his best man, following the tradition of not seeing each other before the wedding. I called my father's number, my heart pounding as it rang. "Dad, it's Sophia. I just wanted to check if you're still planning to come tomorrow to walk me down the aisle." A long heavy pause. "Sophia, I'm sorry. Your mother needs me to help with Harper's party. There's so much to do, and you know how important this is to your sister." My phone chimed with a text from Naomi. "Just checking in. How are you feeling, bride-to-be?" Naomi had never been vague about anything before. "Everything okay? Anything I can help with?" I texted back. "All good. Just need to handle this. Get some sleep. Big day tomorrow." I scrolled mindlessly through social media to distract myself, only to freeze when a new post from Harper appeared in my feed. The location tag caught my eye. Bellamy's Boutique, the same upscale shop where Naomi had mentioned she needed to run an errand earlier that week. My hands shaking, I switched to Naomi's profile and saw a story she had posted, then quickly deleted, but not before Instagram had placed the posted 1 hour ago marker on her profile. The betrayal hit me like a physical blow. My best friend, my maid of honor, the one person who had promised to stand by me no matter what, was planning to attend Harper's engagement party instead of my wedding. I called her immediately. The call went straight to voicemail. Minutes passed with no response. I turned off my phone, unable to bear any more communication. I must have cried myself to sleep, because the next thing I knew, my phone was ringing and sunlight was streaming through the hotel curtains I had forgotten to close. Groggy, I answered without checking who was calling. Sure," I said, my voice hoarse from crying. "Room 312. A few minutes later, there was a knock at the door. I opened it to find Allison standing there with a cardboard tray holding 2 coffee cups and a bag from a local bakery. "Hey, bride," she said cheerfully, then stopped short when she saw my face. "Whoa, are you okay?" When I finished, Allison pulled back and looked me directly in the eyes. "Okay, first of all, your family and Naomi are garbage people right now. Second, I am here and I am not going anywhere. If you'll have me, I would be honored to step in as your maid of honor today." "You would do that?" I asked, stunned by her offer. In that moment, with Allison taking charge and showing me more loyalty than people I had counted as much closer friends, I felt a small spark of hope return. The morning of my wedding day passed in a blur of activity. By the time I stepped into my wedding dress, a simple but elegant A-line gown with delicate lace detailing, I almost felt like the bride I had imagined being. Almost, but not quite. I managed a small smile, studying my reflection in the mirror. "I just wish. I hope I'm not intruding," he said, his kind eyes finding mine. "Jason mentioned that your father, well, that he might not be here today. I wanted to offer my services, if you'd like someone to walk you down the aisle. No pressure at all, just an option." The unexpected kindness brought fresh tears to my eyes. "I would be honored, Robert. Thank you." He nodded, clearly emotional himself. "The honor is all mine, Sophia. You've made our son happier than we have ever seen him. You're already part of our family. Today just makes it official." As we arrived at the venue, my phone remained silent. No messages from my parents, Harper or Naomi. I had known not to expect them, but the confirmation of their absence still stung. I took a deep breath and handed my phone to Allison. "Hold this for me. I don't want any distractions during the ceremony." The wedding coordinator guided us to a small room where I would wait until the ceremony began. Through the window, I could see guests arriving, filling the seats on both sides of the aisle, despite knowing most would remain empty on my side. I nodded, unable to speak past the lump in my throat. Walking down the aisle was surreal. I registered the smiling faces turning to watch me, heard the soft gasps and murmurs of appreciation, but everything seemed slightly out of focus until my eyes found Jason waiting at the altar. His face when he saw me was everything I could have hoped for, a mixture of awe, love, and absolute certainty. I was vaguely aware of the empty front row on my side, the seats reserved for family that would remain unoccupied throughout the ceremony. But as Robert placed my hand in Jason's, the pain of those absences receded, replaced by the warmth of Jason's touch and the love shining in his eyes. The ceremony itself was brief but meaningful. Despite the notable absences, the room felt full of love and joy. Jason's extended family and our friends filled the space with laughter and conversation. If anyone noticed or pitied the bride with no family present, they were kind enough not to show it. When the song ended, Jason's father stepped forward to dance with me for the father-daughter dance, a gesture that brought fresh tears to my eyes. "Thank you," I whispered as we moved across the floor, "for everything today." "You're family now," he replied simply. "That's what family does." The evening progressed with toasts, dinner, and more dancing. Finally, it was time to cut the cake, a three-tier creation decorated with fresh flowers that matched our centerpieces. "Ready?" he asked. It was at that precise moment that I felt my phone vibrate in the hidden pocket of my dress. I had retrieved it from Allison during the cocktail hour, not wanting to be completely disconnected in case of an emergency. All within the last hour. My stomach dropped. What could possibly have happened that would prompt such an urgent barrage of communication after they had all but abandoned me today? I showed him the screen. "I don't know what to make of this." "Whatever it is, it can wait," he said firmly. "This is our wedding day. They made their choice earlier." Part of me agreed with him, wanted to silence my phone and continue celebrating without giving my family another thought. But another part, the part that had always hoped for reconciliation, for understanding, for the family relationship I had never truly had, made me hesitate. Finding a quiet corner in the venue's garden, I dialed my mother's number. My mother's breathing was uneven, punctuated by sniffles. "Harper lied to us, Sophia. About everything. She deliberately scheduled her engagement party on your wedding day. She told us that you had changed your wedding date, and didn't bother to tell us because you didn't want us there." The world seemed to tilt beneath me. "What?" "I know that now," she admitted, her voice small. "Patrick confronted Harper today after she made a comment about finally being the center of attention for once. When he pushed her on it, she broke down and admitted everything. She created fake text conversations, deleted your real messages from our phones when we weren't looking, and even intercepted the physical invitation you sent." I struggled to breathe, the magnitude of Harper's deception overwhelming me. "But why would you believe I wouldn't want you at my wedding? After all the times I called, all the voicemails I left." The pieces were falling into place, but one question remained. What about Naomi? Why did she choose Harper's party over my wedding? Another pause, this one heavy with shame. "Harper told Naomi that you had asked someone else to be your maid of honor. She showed Naomi fake texts from you, saying you had only asked her originally out of obligation, but had found someone you connected with better. Harper convinced her that coming to the engagement party would be better than facing humiliation at your wedding." I closed my eyes, recalling Naomi's sudden change of plans, her vague excuses. "I need to process this," I said, my mind reeling. "I'm in the middle of my wedding reception right now." My wedding day, which I had imagined since childhood would include my family, was almost over. They had missed the ceremony, the vows, the first dance, everything that could not be recreated. "I'll text you the address of our hotel," I said finally. "We'll be back there around 11 tonight. You can meet us in the lobby." How could Harper have orchestrated something so elaborate, so cruel?
No, iyan suara tunasli.
"Nothing is okay. But I think maybe it will be, eventually." I told him everything, watching his expression shift from shock to anger to disbelief as the full story unfolded. Jason took my hands in his. "Are you sure you want to do this tonight? We can wait until after our honeymoon if you need time." My stomach was in knots, my thoughts a chaotic jumble of questions and accusations. They arrived at 11:15, my parents looking haggard and red-eyed. "Let's go somewhere more private," Jason suggested, gesturing toward a small meeting room off the lobby that the hotel had left unlocked. "Sorry doesn't change the fact that you missed my wedding," I said, my voice tight. "Or that you believed I would exclude my own family without even picking up the phone to ask me directly." "You're right," my mother whispered, tears streaming down her face. There is nothing we can say to justify our actions. We failed you as parents not just today but for years. Why was it so easy for you to believe I wouldn't want you there? I asked, the question that had been burning inside me since the phone call. What kind of relationship did you think we had that would make that believable? My parents exchanged a pained look before my father answered. The truth is, we knew we hadn't been good parents to you, Sophia. We knew we had favored Harper, made excuses for missing your important moments, failed to celebrate your achievements the way we should have. When Harper told us you didn't want us at your wedding, part of us believed it because we felt we deserved that rejection. Where is Harper now? I asked. Why isn't she here apologizing herself? We don't know, my father said. She left after Patrick confronted her. She isn't answering our calls either. I think she's always been jealous of you, my mother said quietly. Your intelligence, your independence, the genuine relationships you built. We spoiled her, made her the center of attention, but I think deep down she wanted what comes naturally to you, real connections, real accomplishments. Jason, who had been silent until now, spoke up. That might explain her feelings, but it doesn't excuse her actions. What she did was deliberate and destructive. You're right, my father agreed. There is no excuse. And we enabled her behavior for years by always giving in to her demands and tantrums. I looked at my parents, really looked at them maybe for the first time in my adult life. They seemed smaller, somehow diminished by their guilt and shame. I can't forgive you tonight, I said finally. I don't know if I can ever fully forgive missing my wedding, but I am willing to try to build something new going forward, if you are truly committed to change. We know, my father agreed. When we find her, getting her help will be our priority. We talked for another hour. A painful but necessary conversation that began the process of exposing the dysfunctional patterns that had defined our family for decades. No magical reconciliation occurred that night, no tearful group hug that erased years of hurt. But something shifted. A door that had long been closed creaked open. Are you okay? I considered the question carefully. Not yet, but I think I will be. Our honeymoon in Greece was a sun-drenched escape, a perfect start to our married life and a much-needed respite from the family drama. My parents kept their word, starting individual and couples therapy. They gently suggested family sessions, and after some hesitation I agreed. Dr. Patterson, our therapist, became a guide through the tangled mess of our past. Healing isn't linear, she'd remind us. There will be progress and setbacks. The commitment to the process is what matters. My parents convinced her to come home and immediately found her the help she so desperately needed. 2 months passed before I felt ready to see her. We met at a quiet cafe, a neutral ground. Why? It was the only question that mattered. Why would you go to such lengths to ruin my wedding day? She stared into her coffee for a long time. My therapist and I have been talking a lot about this. The simple answer is jealousy, but it's more complicated. I grew up feeling like I had to perform to keep mom and dad's attention. They praised me publicly, but privately, they were always comparing me to you. Why can't you be more focused like Sophia? Why can't you find a stable career like your sister? Slowly, tentatively, we started to rebuild. The wall I had built around my heart for decades began to crumble, letting in small slivers of light. Our family, once broken by secrets and jealousy, was now bound by honesty and a shared commitment to healing. Today, on a bright sunny afternoon, we gathered in the backyard of the house Jason and I bought 2 years ago. The air was filled with the sweet scent of freshly cut grass and the sound of children's laughter. Naomi and Allison, now the best of friends, sat with me, our friendship with Naomi carefully and lovingly rebuilt over time. Look at this, he whispered. Who would have thought on that day that this is where we'd be? I know we don't do this often, he began, his voice thick with emotion. But I want to make a toast. To Sophia and Jason. You two showed us what family truly means. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up, doing the hard work and choosing love, even when it's difficult. You taught us how to heal. We love you both so much. My mom raised her glass, tears shining in her eyes. To our family, she said. Whole and happy at last. As everyone clinked their glasses, I looked at the faces surrounding Mimi's husband, my children, my parents, my sister, my incredible friends. My heart didn't ache anymore. It was full. The scars from that painful time were still there, but they were no longer wounds. They were reminders of the strength it took to heal, the resilience of the human heart, and the incredible redemptive power of forgiveness. If our story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more real-life stories about overcoming challenges and finding happiness.